Climate change. It's a topic everyone's talking about, but what's the science behind it? Today, we're diving into the basics of climate change, why it's happening, and what you need to know to understand the future of our planet. The science behind climate change. What you need to know. What is climate change? So, let's start with the basics. Climate change refers to long-term shifts in temperatures and weather patterns. While these shifts can be natural, like volcanic eruptions or solar cycles, the changes we're seeing now are largely driven by human activity. Graphic on screen. Show timeline of CO2 emissions and temperature rise over decades. Since the Industrial Revolution, human activities, like burning fossil fuels, have released billions of tons of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, and these gases are causing our planet to warm up at an alarming rate. How do greenhouse gases work? Imagine Earth wrapped in a blanket. That's what greenhouse gases do. They trap heat from the sun, keeping our planet warm enough to support life. But as we add more and more greenhouse gases, that blanket gets thicker, trapping even more heat. Graphic on screen. Layers of greenhouse gases around Earth with labels for CO2, methane CH4, and nitrous oxide N2O. The main greenhouse gases are carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide. Carbon dioxide from cars and factories, methane from agriculture, and nitrous oxide from fertilizers all contribute to the greenhouse effect. Evidence of climate change. How do we know climate change is real? Scientists have gathered overwhelming evidence from around the world. Here are just a few signs. Rising temperatures. Global temperatures have increased by about 1.2 degrees Celsius since the 1800s. Melting ice caps. Arctic sea ice is shrinking by 13% per decade. Rising sea levels. Oceans have risen about 8 inches, 20 centimeters, over the past century. Extreme weather events. More intense hurricanes, droughts, and wildfires are becoming common. Each of these signs points to a rapidly changing climate, and they're happening faster than any natural cycle could explain. Human impact on climate change. Over 97% of climate scientists agree. Human activity is the primary cause of recent climate change. Burning fossil fuels for electricity, transportation, and industry produces greenhouse gases that stay in the atmosphere for hundreds of years. Graphic on screen, pie chart of greenhouse gas emissions by sector, energy, agriculture, industry, etc. A big chunk of emissions comes from the energy sector, followed by agriculture, industry, and waste. It's like each activity we do leaves a footprint, and collectively, we're leaving a massive footprint on the Earth. Consequences of climate change. What happens if we continue on this path? Climate change affects nearly every aspect of life on Earth, from ecosystems to human health. More extreme weather, intense hurricanes, droughts, floods, and heat waves. Biodiversity loss. Many species, from polar bears to coral reefs, face extinction. Human health risks. More diseases, food shortages, and forced migrations due to extreme weather. Economic costs. Billions of dollars in damages from extreme weather events and resource scarcity. These consequences are not distant threats. They're realities that we're already seeing around the world today. What can we do? It may sound overwhelming, but there's hope. There are steps we can take to slow climate change, reduce emissions, and protect our future. Switch to renewable energy, using solar, wind, and other renewable sources. Reduce waste. Recycling and reducing consumption helps lower emissions. Transportation. Opt for electric vehicles, public transit, or cycling. Policy and advocacy. Supporting climate-friendly policies and holding leaders accountable. Each action, no matter how small, can make a difference. If we all work together, we can make real progress in the fight against climate change. So, now you know the science behind climate change. It's a complex issue, but with understanding comes power. By staying informed, making small changes, and supporting big solutions, we can protect our planet for future generations. Together, we can make a difference.